It looks perfect, doesn't it?
This digital scrapbook of a flawless life captured for millions to see. Every laugh, every milestone, every family vacation broadcasted as picture-perfect entertainment. This is the billion-dollar world of YouTube family vlogging. A world where domestic life becomes daily content. But behind the bright lighting and happy music, a profound question is quietly being asked. Is monetizing your child's life the ultimate expression of modern love? A way to build a legacy and a business from cherished moments? Or is it the ultimate betrayal? A transaction where a childhood is sold before it's even been fully lived? We see the curated joy and the sponsored smiles. We watch them grow up on our screens, feeling like we know them. But what is the real psychological cost of a life lived in public? What drives parents to turn their home into a television studio? And what does it do to a child when their identity is a brand? To answer this, we can't just rely on opinions or hot takes. We need to look deeper into the science of why. This isn't just a niche corner of the internet, it's a media empire built on the foundation of family itself. These channels command audiences larger than most television shows, generating immense revenue and cultural influence. But the conversation around them often gets stuck in a cycle of drama and condemnation. This video is not a takedown piece. Instead, it's a psychological investigation. We're going to pull back the curtain and analyze the entire ecosystem piece by piece. To do this, we'll use a framework of what I call the 4 pillars: the creator, the child, the audience, and the algorithm. Each pillar holds a crucial part of the puzzle. We'll explore the deep-seated needs driving the parents. We will examine the developmental science concerning the children. We'll even turn the lens on ourselves to ask why we are so compelled to watch. And finally, we'll expose a 4th, hidden player in this system that quietly directs the entire show. This journey is about understanding the why behind this massive social experiment. Because family vlogging isn't just entertainment, it's a real-time experiment in public childhood, and we're all participants. By the end, you won't see these channels the same way again. You'll be equipped with a new mental model for understanding one of the most powerful forces in modern internet culture. So let's begin with the person who presses record. To understand the creator, we must move past simple judgments of greed or fame-seeking. The motivations are often far more complex and rooted in relatable human desires. The first powerful driver is the creation of a digital legacy. Think of it as the 21st century photo album, but on an epic, permanent scale. Every parent feels the desperate urge to capture fleeting moments of childhood before they disappear. Technology now offers a seductive promise, not just to save these memories, but to perfect them, archive them, and share them beautifully. What begins as a genuine desire to document a life can evolve into a need to curate a perfect narrative. This leads to the second and perhaps most potent psychological force, parasocial validation. In our increasingly isolated communities, the comments section can become a substitute for the village. When thousands of strangers praise your parenting, your home, and your family, it delivers a powerful hit of validation. This isn't just about ego, it's about a deep human need for affirmation and belonging. Studies on social media behavior show that positive feedback activates the same reward circuits in the brain as food and money. The creator isn't just getting compliments, They are receiving powerful, intermittent rewards that reinforce the behavior of sharing more. This creates a feedback loop where the creator's self-worth can become entangled with their online reception. But this constant need for validation creates a dangerous pressure. The escalation of authenticity. Audiences crave what feels real and relatable. In the world of family vlogging, real often translates to private. A child's first steps are relatable content. A tantrum in the supermarket is even more authentic content. A tearful confession about marital stress can be the most engaging content of all. The algorithm rewards this raw emotional content with more views and engagement. Creators feel this pressure, whether consciously or not. They are incentivized to push the boundaries of what their family shares with the world. A line that starts at sharing a birthday party slowly moves towards sharing a health scare, a fight, or a child's deepest anxieties. This isn't always a cynical calculation. It often comes from a place of wanting to connect and be seen as genuine. The creator might believe they are just keeping it real for their audience, but they are operating within a system that monetizes privacy. Every step deeper into their family's private life is rewarded. This blurs the line between sharing your life and packaging it for consumption. The home, once a sanctuary, is now a set. The family, once a private unit, is now a cast of characters. And the pressure to perform authenticity can become an overwhelming force. It starts with a simple desire to share and can end in a place where no moment is too sacred to film. To truly grasp the consequences of this, we must shift our focus from the parent to the person who never signed up for the job. For the child at the center of a family vlog, life is fundamentally different from their peers. Their developmental environment is unlike any other in human history. The first major area of concern for developmental psychologists is identity formation. A core part of growing up is developing a private self, an inner world where you figure out who you are away from the judgment of others. It's where you have your first crush, develop strange hobbies, and make embarrassing mistakes. This private space is a psychological laboratory for building a stable identity. But for a vlogging child, this laboratory has no walls. Their personality, their quirks, and their emotional growth are all public assets. When your childhood moments generate income, do you learn that your value is tied to your performance? How do you separate your true self from the on-camera persona that gets praised and rewarded? This leads to the central ethical problem, the issue of consent. A toddler cannot consent to having their entire life documented and uploaded for profit. A 10-year-old cannot comprehend the permanent consequences of a digital footprint that will follow them into adulthood, impacting relationships, education, and careers. Imagine being a teenager applying for a job, knowing the hiring manager can watch videos of your potty training. Imagine going on a first date, knowing they can find footage of your most awkward middle school moments. This is the reality these children will one day face. For these kids, their childhood isn't a memory they own. It's a public library book they can't check out. Their personal history is a co-owned corporate asset, forever archived and accessible. This creates a unique psychological state that previous generations have only seen in fiction. This is what I call the Truman Show Effect, where the line between performing a life and living one completely disappears. When a camera is always present, does a family vacation feel like a vacation or a location shoot? Is a hug for comfort or for the thumbnail? Children learn social and emotional cues by observing and interacting in authentic situations. The Truman Show Effect introduces a confounding variable into every interaction. The child may learn that certain emotional displays get more attention from their parents, who are simultaneously directing the scene for an unseen audience. This can disrupt the development of genuine emotional regulation and social understanding. They may become masters of performing emotion rather than truly feeling it. We are running a massive, unregulated experiment on the identity, privacy, and emotional health of a generation of children. And as we consider this, it's worth pausing to reflect on a deeply uncomfortable question. What does a childhood look like without any private moments? What is the soul of an experience when it's lived with the primary goal of being recorded? We don't have the answers yet, but the questions themselves are a warning. Understanding these complex dynamics is the first step toward becoming a more conscious media consumer. If you're someone who believes in looking past the surface and asking the hard questions about internet culture, you're in the right place. Consider subscribing to join a critical thinkers who are curious about the hidden forces shaping our world. We have so much more to uncover together. We've talked a lot about them, the creators and the children. But now we have to talk about us. We have to turn the analytical lens around and examine the third pillar, the audience. Before we judge the creators, we have to ask why we're providing the demand. Why are these channels so popular? The answer reveals some profound truths about our own psychological needs. The first driver is vicarious experience. For many viewers, family vlogs offer a low-stakes, low-cost way to experience life's biggest milestones. You can feel the excitement of a pregnancy announcement, a wedding, or buying a new home, all from the comfort of your couch. It provides the emotional payoff of these events without the financial cost, responsibility, or risk. This is especially powerful for younger audiences who are years away from these milestones themselves. They get a curated, idealized preview of a future they might aspire to. This idealization is connected to the second powerful force, nostalgia and idealization. Many viewers don't just see a family, they see a reflection of the family they wish they had, or the childhood they wish they could give their own kids. The content is intentionally crafted to feel aspirational and perfect. Clean houses, happy children, and financially successful parents create a modern fairy tale. We project our own desires for stability, love, and happiness onto these families. Watching them becomes a form of escapism, a brief visit to a world where things are simpler and happier than our own often complicated lives. This powerful emotional connection fosters the third and most important concept, the parasocial community. A parasocial relationship is a one-sided connection where a viewer feels they know a media figure personally.
Family vloggers are masters at cultivating this.
They speak directly to the camera, calling their audience their YouTube family. They share intimate details, creating a powerful illusion of friendship and closeness. For viewers who may be lonely or socially isolated, this can feel like a genuine community. They aren't just watching a show, they're checking in on their friends. They feel invested in the children's growth and the parents' success. This sense of belonging is a fundamental human need. Family vlogs have, for better or worse, become a digital solution to a very real problem of modern disconnection. It's not a flaw in the viewer to feel this connection. It's a feature of how our brains are wired for community. But it's this very demand for connection, for idealized reality, and for vicarious experience that fuels the entire industry. We are the market. Our clicks are the currency. And our attention is the resource being mined. But there is one more player, the one that connects our demand to the creator's supply, and it operates silently in the background. Now, let's zoom out from individual psychology to system psychology. This is the hidden player we mentioned at the start, the algorithm. It's not a person, but it is the most powerful force in the entire ecosystem, shaping the behavior of both creators and viewers. The first rule of the algorithm is the engagement feedback loop. YouTube's primary goal is to keep you watching for as long as possible. The algorithm identifies which videos are good at this and shows them to more people. So, what kind of content is best at grabbing and holding attention?
Just be with me.
Drama, conflict, shocking news, and intense emotional displays are algorithmic gold. A video titled "A Fun Day at the Park" will almost always perform worse than "Our daughter is missing at the park," not clickbait. This creates an inescapable pressure on creators. The algorithm doesn't care about ethics, it cares about watch time. It systematically rewards creators who are willing to sensationalize their lives and exploit private moments for clicks. This leads directly to the second mechanism, the monetization treadmill. For families who rely on YouTube as their primary income, they are no longer just sharing their life, they are running a business with unforgiving production demands. They can't take a month off. They need to upload consistently, or the algorithm will stop promoting their channel and their income will plummet. This pressure can lead to burnout, creative exhaustion, and most critically, ethical compromises. When you're desperate for a video idea to pay the mortgage, filming your child's distress over a bad grade can seem like a justifiable business decision. The system turns parenting into a constant search for monetizable content. Finally, the algorithm creates recommendation spirals. When you watch one family vlog, the algorithm recommends 5 more. It learns that you are interested in this type of content and can create a personalized bubble for you. This concentrates audience attention on a handful of successful channel types, creating trends. If prank on kids videos are trending, more creators will make them to capture that audience. The algorithm doesn't just respond to demand, it shapes and amplifies it, creating echo chambers of content that can normalize increasingly questionable behavior. It's a system that incentivizes performance over authenticity, sensationalism over subtlety, and monetization over privacy. The algorithm is the invisible director of the entire Truman Show, pushing parents and children to create the most engaging and often most troubling content possible. Okay, that was a lot of theory. We've analyzed the creators, the kids, the audience, and the algorithm. But what can you actually do with this information? How can we be more conscious consumers in this complex ecosystem? It's not about boycotting every channel, but about engaging with more awareness. Let's make it simple. Here is a 3-point conscious viewer checklist to think about the next time you watch a family vlog. First, assess for agency. Ask yourself, do the children in this video seem to have a genuine say in their participation? Are they happy and willing participants, or do they seem coached, uncomfortable, or performing on command? Look for signs that their personhood is respected beyond their role as a content subject. Are they allowed to say no to being filmed? While we can't know for sure, we can look for clues that suggest a collaborative environment rather than a directive one. Second, distinguish between authenticity and exploitation. Does the content feel like a family sharing their life, or are they selling a private moment for views? A key question to ask is, could this content be used to embarrass or harm this child in 10 years? Sharing a family recipe is very different from sharing a child's medical diagnosis or their first heartbreak. Learning to spot the difference between healthy sharing and harmful oversharing is a critical skill. Third, reflect on viewer responsibility. This is about turning the lens on yourself. Why am I watching this? Am I here to feel a sense of connection and joy, or am I here for the drama and chaos? Am I rewarding channels that produce wholesome content, or am I clicking on the most sensational thumbnails? Our collective clicks shape the entire market. By consciously choosing to support more ethical content, we send a powerful message to both creators and the algorithm. This checklist doesn't provide perfect answers, but it changes you from a passive consumer into an active, critical participant. So, after exploring these 4 pillars, how does this all fit together? We've seen that creators are often driven by relatable desires for legacy and validation, guided by an algorithm that rewards oversharing. We've seen that children are at risk of having their identity and privacy compromised in a large-scale, unregulated social experiment. We've seen that we, the audience, are seeking connection and idealization, and our demand fuels the entire system. And we've seen that the algorithm acts as a powerful, amoral director, pushing everyone toward more extreme content. This brings us back to the question we asked at the very beginning. Is family vlogging an act of love or an act of betrayal? The psychology shows us it's not that simple. It is a complex ecosystem where genuine love and systemic exploitation can, and often do, coexist in the same channel. It's a mirror reflecting our society's evolving relationship with technology, privacy, and commerce. It reflects our own deep desires for connection, legacy, and community in an increasingly digital world. Ultimately, the tragedy of family vlogging is that it often starts with love and ends with a brand. The journey from parent to producer is a slippery slope, paved with good intentions, but leading to a place where a child's life is no longer their own. Understanding this doesn't mean we have to stop watching. It means we have to start watching with our eyes wide open. If this deep dive into the psychology of internet culture is something you find valuable, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our future investigations. We're just scratching the surface of the digital world we inhabit. Thank you for watching.